Hi guys, today we are returning to a fandom we've covered once before on this channel, Miraculous Ladybug. We ask you guys to take these theories with a grain of salt. We don't necessarily believe that they will happen, but we just wanted to lay out all the evidence for it and hear what y'all have to say. Keeping that in mind, we are going to go over the theory that Adrien is a Senti-Monster, which has been brought up and debunked about 600 times. Despite the controversy this theory has ignited in the fandom, part 1 of the Season 4 finale, Risk, has brought a lot of new evidence to the table that is worth exploring before the season finale. Whether or not you choose to believe it is completely up to you, but we hope you enjoy the video either way.
This theory has a large amount of evidence that in the second half of Season 4 has notably grown. Originally, this theory stemmed from two major questions that still haven't been answered in the show. First, what was the action that caused the Peacock Miraculous to break? And second, what was Emily's place in this? As we know, the Peacock Miraculous has the power to create beings known as Senti-Monsters. Assuming the break did not occur under outstanding circumstances, the holder must have created a Senti-Monster that was different somehow. This spurred fans to speculate about what the Senti-Monster could look like, and this produced the idea that Adrien could be one.
So let's lay out the evidence. 1. The theory dictates that there had to be some reason that Emily created Adrien. For this, we want to look at this painting. It's the door to Emily's greenhouse tomb and something we see Gabriel constantly gazing at. This painting is actually based on a real piece entitled Adele Bloch Bauer 1 by artist Gustav Klimt. The woman in the original painting had 2 miscarriages, then lost her baby boy only days after his birth. If Emily couldn't have children, she could have turned to her Miraculous. Also, a little note, thanks to Family Aggress fan blog on Tumblr for finding this painting and making that comparison.
2. Adrien has displayed Senti-Monster behavior. In the Season 4 episode Wishmaker, the akumatized villain makes everyone's childhood dreams come true. Marinette, for example, becomes the knitting fairy. Adrien has a different reaction.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to be what my parents wanted me to be.
This is abnormal for a couple reasons. First, Adrien insists multiple times throughout the episode that he didn't know what he wanted to be as a kid, nor did he have any idea what he wants to do in the future. He goes as far as to say that his head feels empty when he thinks about it. Second, Adrien's memory is different from the others. Most notably, his memory is from when he was an infant. This is unusual, as the other Parisians' memories all seem to be from childhood or toddlerhood. Also, Adrien's memory is the only memory in the first-person perspective. Although having a memory from that age isn't impossible, knowing what you want to be when you grow up at that age is a different story entirely. Finally, Adrien explains his childhood wish as being whatever his parents wanted him to be. We know, because of this episode and past episodes, that he no longer feels that way. But a Senti-Monster's original purpose is to obey its creator.
3. We know absolutely nothing about Emily. As we mentioned earlier, we have zero context for how or why the Peacock Miraculous broke, only that Emily was the one to wield it. We know she likely did something that even a Miraculous wasn't fit to handle, and creating a growing, conscious, unique human being would probably fit the bill. If Emily used the Miraculous for this, and it began to crack, then like we are now seeing in Natalie, she may have gotten sicker and sicker. As she continued to use it to sustain Adrien, it would eventually get so close to killing her that Gabriel had to put her in a glass coffin or perhaps some variety of cryo-sleep. If this were the case, then Gabriel's behavior toward Adrien makes more sense. If part of him blames Adrien for Emily's demise, it may cause some hostility.
4. We know that Senti-Monsters cannot be destroyed by a cataclysm. In the episode Miraculous, the akumatized villain consumes Cat Noir's power. She soon hits him with a cataclysm, which breaks his ribs but does not kill him. Though this could be a good piece of evidence, it could also be disputed by the fact that Adrien was struck while in his suit.
5. We haven't seen a photo of baby Adrien, which, although not exactly damning, is worth mentioning.
6. Now we have some content that comes from the creator of the show, Thomas Astrup, Twitter Menace. Thomas is notorious for interacting with fans, theories, and fan art on Twitter, and we have compiled some of these examples supporting the Senti-Monster theory. First, Thomas describes Adrien as perfect on Twitter. When a commenter replied, "Nobody's perfect," Thomas replied, "Adrien is." Second, he clarifies that even if the Senti-Monster's owner dies, the Senti-Monster can continue to exist. It only matters that the amok is still sealed in an object. Thomas uses a ring as an example of an amok. He also tweets that if a Senti-Monster is designed to be a human, it is a human.
7. One of the biggest pieces of evidence towards this theory is the Graham de Vanille twin rings. These 2 rings originally became part of the plot in Felix, wherein Amelie and Felix worked together to steal one of her family's rings back from Gabriel. Gabriel is noticeably disturbed by this, which could be attributed to not wanting to lose the symbolic piece of his wife, but may also run deeper. When he notices Felix was successful in stealing one of his rings, he quickly steals Emily's to wear instead. In a Firmal, when Adrien is not doing what Gabriel says, Gabriel twists the ring. He does the same action on multiple occasions. In the first part of the finale, Gabriel gives Natalie his ring, then says that he is also giving her his son after he slides it on her finger. Shortly after that, Felix, pretending to be Adrien, is being defiant, causing Gabriel to reach for the ring, which he suddenly realizes is no longer on his finger. From there, Natalie steps up, twists the ring, and successfully commands Adrien to comply. Also, in Megaleech, Gabriel lifts his ring hand and orders Adrien to go to his room. Once Adrien obeys, we see Gabriel rubbing his ring behind his back. Do the rings house the amok used to create Adrien?
8. Adrien is a perfect copy of Felix.
9. In the Shanghai movie, Gabriel very cryptically says, "I need to finish what I started 15 years ago." This is an oddly specific amount of years, considering how old Adrien is meant to be.
10. Adrien has a notable association with feathers. In the episode Simple Man, Adrien is shown to be participating in an ad campaign where he is wearing feathered wings. Adrien has an allergy to feathers, which is a side plot in a couple of episodes, and in the Fragrance ad, Adrien is seen surrounded by floating feathers.
That's everything we found as evidence for this theory. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, please don't take this as canon, we were really just interested in the theory. Let us know any theories you'd like to see us do in the coming months.